Before you step into Tesco again, there is something you deserve to know. Many shoppers, especially older adults living on fixed incomes, are unknowingly losing hundreds of pounds every single year inside this store. Not because of luxury purchases or careless spending, but because of strategic pricing, quietly shifting promotions, and subtle design choices that most people never notice. Tesco presents itself as a place of savings, convenience, and loyalty rewards. But behind those familiar yellow tags and club card offers lies a pattern of pricing that often makes the deal look better than it truly is. You might think you're saving money by choosing the promoted size, the meal deal, or the club card discount, but in many cases you are actually paying more than you should. And Tesco counts on the fact that most shoppers, especially seniors, do not examine unit prices, do not question the layout, and do not track how these small losses add up over the months. Stay with me, because in this investigation I will break down the 10 most expensive mistakes people make at Tesco. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what to avoid and what to choose instead to protect your budget and your household. Understanding why Tesco's shopping mistakes matter requires looking beyond individual products and examining how the modern supermarket system works. Over the past decade, the UK grocery landscape has changed dramatically. Prices have risen faster than pensions, and many older adults now depend on loyalty schemes and promotional labels just to keep weekly spending manageable. This creates a situation where consumers trust the supermarket's promises more than they should, especially when those promises appear in bold colors, simplified discounts, or member-only deals. Regulators such as the Competition and Markets Authority (CMA) have repeatedly warned about the lack of transparency in retail pricing. Investigations from groups like which found examples where promotional tags looked appealing but did not reflect the best value on the shelf. In some cases, the non-discounted price had been inflated before the discount appeared. While these practices often meet legal standards, they create confusion for shoppers, particularly seniors who rely on clear, consistent pricing. On top of that, supermarkets design their stores to increase impulse buying. Essentials, milk, bread, eggs, are placed at the back, so shoppers must pass through aisles of high-margin goods. Meal deals are positioned at eye level, engineered to look convenient, even though their cost often exceeds that of preparing the same meal at home. And larger packs are marketed as better value, even when the unit price reveals the opposite. Older adults face additional challenges. Vision changes make small unit price labels harder to read. Fixed income budgeting means that even small weekly losses accumulate. And long-standing brand loyalty can mask price increases that happen quietly over time. This is why understanding Tesco's pricing strategies is not just about saving pennies, it is about protecting your financial stability. If you can recognize how marketing, layout, and promotional systems shape your shopping decisions, you can avoid the traps that cost households significant money each year. What follows is a clear, evidence-based breakdown of the most common and costly mistakes and how to avoid them. Many shoppers enter Tesco assuming that savings will come naturally. But one of the most common financial mistakes happens before the first item even enters the basket, shopping without a club card. Tesco's pricing strategy inflates non-member prices, making certain items look far more expensive unless you scan your card. A ketchup bottle priced at $3.90 suddenly drops to $3.50 with a club card, but that discount exists only because the original price was elevated. Consumer reports show that these patterns appear across everyday staples, meaning older adults who choose not to join the loyalty system end up subsidizing the savings of others. Although the card is free, the real cost is in personal data. Tesco uses your shopping habits to shape future prices and promotions. For seniors watching every pound, the smartest approach is to always use a club card, but never assume the club card price is automatically the best value. Even with a club card, many people overlook the small print that matters most, the unit price. Supermarkets rely on shoppers grabbing the package that looks bigger or the one with the bright yellow promotion label. But investigations have repeatedly shown that the cost per 100 Gs or per unit often reveals a completely different story. A smaller item on promotion might appear cheaper until you check the unit price and discover the larger pack offers better value. Tesco's promotional labels rarely display the unit price clearly, and the small text can be hard to read for older adults. This is deliberate. Reducing visibility encourages customers to choose based on color and emotion instead of numbers. The only reliable method is to ignore the large price on the shelf and read the unit price first. That simple habit prevents dozens of small overspends that add up month after month. Another costly behavior comes from falling for free offers, particularly buy one get one free deals. The word free triggers a sense of reward, and Tesco knows this. These promotions often appear on perishable items, bread, meat, dairy foods that need to be eaten quickly. For seniors living alone or in smaller households, this means buying twice as much as needed. The second item frequently expires before it is used, turning the supposed savings into food waste and financial loss. In many cases, a store-brand version or a product from Aldi or Lidl is still cheaper than one-half of a BOGOF deal at Tesco. Before reaching for these offers, the key questions are simple. Do you truly need the extra product? Will you realistically use it? And is an alternative brand cheaper, even without a promotion? If any answer leans toward no, the deal is not a deal, it is a trap. Beyond promotions, the design of the store itself influences how much customers spend. Tesco carefully positions essential goods at the back, ensuring that shoppers pass displays of snacks, seasonal items, and impulse buys long before reaching the basic items they came in for. Premium products sit at eye-level, cheaper options near the floor, and bakery scents greet customers at the entrance to stimulate appetite. Research shows that the longer a person remains inside a store, the more they purchase. Older adults who often walk slowly and take more time to navigate aisles are more vulnerable to these subtle psychological prompts. Recognizing these layout strategies can help shoppers stay focused on their list, rather than drifting toward unnecessary purchases placed deliberately in their path. Another habit that drains money quietly is relying on meal deals. Tesco's $3.60 combination feels convenient and fairly priced, but when compared to homemade alternatives, the cost becomes clear. A simple lunch made at home, bread, tuna, cucumber, and water, can cost less than $1 per serving. Buying meal deals 5 times a week means spending close to $18 weekly, while preparing meals at home costs around $5. Over the course of a year, the difference exceeds $600. For seniors managing fixed incomes, this is significant. Meal deals are marketed as time-saving solutions, but in reality they are premium convenience products disguised as everyday value. Supermarkets take advantage of another common human behavior: shopping while hungry. Studies show that hunger increases spending by up to 6%. Tesco amplifies this effect by placing fresh-baked items near the entrance, filling the air with warm, comforting smells that trigger appetite. Checkout areas are lined with sweets and snacks specifically to catch shoppers who have already experienced decision fatigue. For older adults, especially those managing blood sugar fluctuations, shopping while hungry leads to impulsive purchases that disrupt both budgets and dietary stability. Eating before shopping, carrying a small snack, or even chewing gum can significantly reduce these impulses. For shoppers aiming to save money, one often overlooked tool is digital discounts. Cashback apps and Tesco's own digital coupons offer money back on items people already buy. Yet these resources are underused by older adults who may feel uncomfortable with technology. Cashback platforms sometimes offer $8 or more on a single Tesco grocery order, and weekly personalized coupons routinely take 20 pp, 50p, or $1 off specific items. Over the course of a year, these small amounts accumulate into meaningful savings. Failing to use them leaves free money unclaimed, often simply due to a lack of familiarity with the apps. Asking a friend or family member to set them up once can unlock ongoing savings with very little effort. One of the most concerning behaviors is assuming that club card prices always represent the best deal. Consumer watchdogs have raised questions about Tesco's pricing practices, noting cases where non-member prices appear artificially inflated. This creates the illusion of a discount when the club card price is simply the real market value. Adding to the confusion, many club card promotions lack clear unit pricing, making comparisons difficult. Shoppers often trust the bright yellow label without checking alternative sizes or brands, and this trust leads them to pay more than necessary. For older adults who tend to rely on established brands and familiar stores, this misplaced confidence becomes a recurring financial loss. Another subtle drain on budgets comes from choosing premium ranges like Tesco Finest, when the standard version of the product is nearly identical. Packaging typography and descriptions create an impression of superior quality. but in many cases, the ingredients and production methods are extremely similar. Investigations have shown that both versions may come from the same manufacturer with only minor adjustments to justify a higher price. For seniors who may view premium items as a small personal treat, these decisions can lead to unnecessary weekly spending that adds up significantly over time. Examining ingredient lists side by side often reveals that the upgrade is largely visual rather than nutritional. Finally, the most expensive mistake is sticking exclusively with Tesco when alternative supermarkets consistently offer lower prices. Multiple price audits across the UK show that a typical basket at Aldi or Lidl costs 15 to 25% less than the equivalent at Tesco. While Tesco advertises an Aldi price match, the scheme covers only a small percentage of products. Everything else remains significantly higher. A household spending £100 per week at Tesco could reduce that to $75 or $85 by shopping at a discount retailer. Over a year, the savings can exceed £1,000, a substantial amount for anyone, and especially for older adults living on fixed incomes. Habit, convenience, and familiarity often keep people returning to Tesco, but the financial impact of that loyalty is far from small. The most serious issue uncovered in this investigation centers on Tesco's club card pricing, the very system millions of shoppers rely on to feel they are getting a fair deal. What makes this finding significant is not a single product or isolated incident, but a widespread pattern highlighted by consumer watchdogs. In 2023, which publicly challenged Tesco's use of club card prices and submitted concerns to the Competition and Markets Authority, arguing that some promotional labels could mislead customers into believing they were receiving genuine savings when they were not. The heart of the problem lies in artificially elevated non-member prices. By raising the standard shelf price first, Tesco is able to present the club card price as a meaningful discount, even though the reduced price may simply reflect the normal market rate. This strategy is technically legal, but it creates an impression of savings that may not truly exist. Adding to the issue, many club card promotional labels do not include unit pricing. Without this information, shoppers, especially older adults, cannot accurately compare value across different sizes, brands, or product formats. This lack of transparency undermines consumer confidence. Seniors who often depend on fixed incomes and long-term trust in familiar retailers may unknowingly pay more while believing they are benefiting from loyalty rewards. The contradiction is difficult to ignore. A pricing system marketed as a tool to help households save may instead contribute to overspending. Understanding this pattern is essential. It reveals how pricing structures, even when legal, can be designed in ways that disadvantage the very people who rely on them most. And it underscores why careful comparison, not brand trust, is the only reliable path to genuine savings. Now that we understand how easily money can be lost through pricing tricks, store design, and familiar shopping habits, the next step is learning how to protect yourself. The most effective tool you have is awareness, and it begins with reading labels correctly. Instead of focusing on the large promotional price, always check the unit price, the small figure that shows cost per 100 yens, per 100 ml, or per item. This number reveals the true value and helps you avoid paying more for a product that only appears cheaper. If the label does not show a unit price, compare sizes manually or question whether the promotion is as meaningful as it seems. Pay close attention to vague terms such as special offer, member price, or price drop. These phrases sound positive, but may hide small reductions or discounts applied to inflated original prices. When choosing between standard and premium ranges, compare ingredient lists side by side. In many categories, the recipes are nearly identical, meaning you can confidently choose the cheaper option without sacrificing quality. Older adults can also benefit from a few simple habits. Eat before shopping, make a written list, and avoid wandering. These small actions help prevent emotional or hunger-driven purchases. If technology feels overwhelming, ask a family member to install cashback apps or set up your Tesco digital coupons. Once the apps are ready, using them takes only a few taps and the savings accumulate surprisingly quickly. When possible, consider mixing your shopping trips. Buy the majority of staples at Aldi or Lidl and use Tesco only for specific items or convenience. This approach captures the best prices without requiring you to abandon a familiar store completely. Each small change reduces risk increases clarity, and ensures your money goes exactly where you intend toward your household, your health, and your peace of mind. What this investigation shows is that the biggest losses in grocery shopping rarely come from large, dramatic decisions. They come from small habits repeated week after week, shaped by pricing tactics, store layouts, and assumptions that seem harmless but quietly drain household budgets. For older adults living on fixed incomes, these losses matter even more. Understanding how promotions work, how unit prices reveal the truth, and how alternatives like Aldi or Lidl compare gives you the power to protect your financial well-being. The responsibility does not rest on shoppers alone. Supermarkets have a duty to present prices clearly and honestly. But until that happens consistently, awareness becomes your strongest defense. By making a few informed adjustments, you can reduce waste, avoid misleading offers, and ensure your money supports the things that truly matter for you and your family. Before you leave, I want to hear from you. Which of these shopping mistakes have you encountered, and which one surprised you the most in this investigation? Your experience can help other viewers, especially older adults, avoid the same traps. If you want practical, evidence-based guidance to protect your household budget and make safer choices in supermarkets, consider subscribing. It ensures you receive future reports that may help you save money, avoid misleading offers, and stay informed. Thank you for spending your time with this investigation. Your attention and your well-being truly matter.